get the sense that there is an understanding among your colleagues, among your leadership, of the depth of the defeats and what to do about it, or not?
Not really. Democrats should have had the easiest election in our lifetimes. We should have cleaned up from President of the United States down to local school board. Democrats should have swept this. We lost big. The Democratic Party has lost touch with the American people. But the problem is that we're so insistent on, policing our words and even refusing to engage in debates about contentious issues that we're just losing on them. There are some issues where we really do just have better policies, like on the economy. Our policies will bring down inflation. Trump, with his tax cuts for billionaires and his massive tariffs, will raise inflation. And yet, American voters trust Republicans more on the economy. So we've got to understand, why do American voters just fundamentally not trust us? I think it's because we're in the business of preaching as opposed to listening. We're a party that's very arrogant. If you don't agree with us 100% with our dogmatic views on certain issues, then you're not only wrong, you're a bad person. That's the attitude that I think a lot of American voters are hearing from Democrats, or that's what they perceive. We got to change that.
So here we have Congressman Seth Moulton, a Democrat from Massachusetts, who comes a little bit closer than some of his Democrat colleagues in terms of understanding what went wrong and why the public no longer trusts the Democrat Party, but he still misses the point. This is the guy who recently came under fire because he made a statement that he doesn't want to see his two daughters get run down by or have to compete with boys. So he's talking about so-called transgender sports and how he's not a fan of that. And that's like a taboo subject for Democrats. He got a lot of heat for that. So it almost sounds like he's kind of a reasonable guy, but then he goes on to talk about how the Democrats have better economic policies that are going to bring down inflation, which is absolutely preposterous. When Trump was president, we had minimal inflation, and when Biden took office, inflation went through the roof, cost of living went through the roof for ordinary Americans, and this is one of the big reasons why they lost the election. I mean, for reference, if you look here, inflation between the year 2016 and 2020, so two presidential election years, we see that $8,669 in 2016 is worth $9,349 in 2020. So an average inflation rate of 1.9%. Now, if we look here, we see the inflation from 2020 to 2024. You have $52,000. It shows examples worth $63,000, $349 today. So you see an average inflation rate of 5.06%. And Congressman Moulton says Democrats have better economic policies for dealing with inflation. It's just not true. But as long as they keep living in this world of deep denial, they're going to keep suffering these same types of defeats. So yeah, he's right when he talks about how Americans don't want to be preached to by their politicians. They don't want to hear the insults about being transphobic and all the insane political correctness and wokeness. But at the same time, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that what ordinary Americans, what we're most concerned with are the things that affect our everyday lives. Crime, illegal immigration, inflation, cost of living. These are the types of things that really worry us. Yes, we're also concerned with all the transgender nonsense. We don't want to see males competing against females. However, he misses the boat entirely when it comes to these other very important issues. And it also could be the case that a big reason why Americans don't trust you is because you're constantly lying to us. They just don't get it, which I suppose is good, because if they're going to continue down this path of deep denial, they will be out of power for many years to come. So hang in there, folks.